Indeed, welcome to the live stream, boys and girls. Nobody's on here yet, so I'm just going to talk for a second until we get a couple people in here. There's no eyeballs on me yet, but I figure there'll be a few people in here. Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. Today on the Prog Corner, we're going to be discussing hated bands that people don't like. I don't hate anything or anybody, so these aren't my choices, mind you. These are the 25 bands the internet has decided that are the most hated bands. I went on there and I took a look at 10 or 15 different websites and collated, put together a list of like 50 or 60 bands that people didn't like in general. And I came up with the 25 that seemed to be the most common denominators, the bands that were just being discussed over and over as the most putrid and vile bands of all time. And I'm so excited to talk about something besides prog today. And obviously, none of these bands are prog bands. Yeah, there was one band that was discussed quite a bit in these articles I was reading, and I refuse to put Rush on this list. It's not going to happen. Rush is amazing. They will not be included in this. Absolutely not. That would be a travesty. And this is a channel called the Prog Corner, so we're not going to go there. We're not playing those games. We're talking about the most vile bands ever, as decided by the internet and ranked by me. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. What do I got Gigi Allen up here for? Let me take him off. Get out of there. You don't need to be up there. Okay, yeah, that's the new Birth album. That's way better anyway. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be ranking them. Number 25 is going to be a band that I like a little bit. Number 1 is going to be a band that I really despise. So that's the order in which we're doing it. At number 25, the 25th most vile band ever, according to the internet. And being that I have it at number 25, I kind of disagree. It's U2. I don't understand why people hate this band so much. Actually, I do. I totally get it. Bono can be a lot. His politics and his big mouth. And, it's hard to even think about U2 and think about the music anymore. I just think about waking up one morning and having some terrible new U2 album on my iPod, on my iPhone that I couldn't get off. It took me like 3 years to get that album off of my iPhone. I kid you not. But I actually do like U2 a lot. I saw them on the October tour back in 1980. They were opening for Jay Giles when Jay Giles' Centerfold was number 1 on the charts. And me and my little friend, Jesus Fish Super Beer, who is an absolute legend in Fort Myers, Florida, in the music scene down there. But me and Jesus Fish Super Beer, we went to the Germain Arena in Fort Myers, and we saw U2 open for Jay Giles. And afterwards, we had no interest in Jay Giles at all. So we go around backstage and we talk to the boys, and it's kind of fun, a fun memory. Me and the Edge laughing at Jay Giles all night long, and at how lame their set was and how terrible they were, and just how bad a taste in music Americans had that Centerfold was number 1 on the charts. I really do like U2's first 2 albums a lot. Their third album, Boy, is kind of what broke them, but it's the Steve Lillywhite thing. I love his production. The lead singer for my old band, Disorderly Conduct, he's in a lawsuit with Steve Lillywhite. He's suing him for like $80,000, saying that he ripped him off or something. But that's old news. Hey, it's Jim Newstead in the house. 365 Days of Prog is in the house, and Runai is in the house. Thank you so much. I'm kind of with Jim about that. I kind of think U2 was great all the way up through Zooropa. You had some of the later stuff that was, not quite as interesting to me, but I really like Joshua Tree, Unforgettable Fire. I even like Pop a little bit. Zooropa was good, but Achtung Baby's probably their best work. So I have U2 as the 25th most despised band on the planet. I kind of disagree with it, but I'm not choosing these bands. The internet chose them. I'm just ranking them. At number 24, I totally disagree with this one. This is like somebody's, this is like the new kicking boy. Hey, the Prog Network's with us. Thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. At number 24, a band I actually kind of dig, and I don't even know why. It's Creed, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, people hate Creed. They love hating on Creed. They're always talking about, the phony Christian and the lead singer being a bum and this, that, and the other thing. But somehow, some way, all these millions of people hate Creed so much, yet somehow they sold 75 million copies. I think they were great. And if you tell me a riff better than that one riff that they came up, what, can you take me higher? That guitar riff is good, people. It is. It sticks in your head. Creed is getting a whole lot of crap, but their first two albums are actually good. I know people hate them, but I do not. That's why they're only number 24 on the list. At number 23, another band that people seem to hate a lot. Makes every single list of the most despised bands of all time. It's the boys from New York with the makeup. It's Kiss. And I can certainly understand why Kiss would make a list of the most despised bands of all time. I get it. I know when I was in school and all my little friends were all into Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill and Destroyer and stuff, I was listening to Close to the Edge and Selling England by the Pound, but they were all, listening to that. So they talked me into giving Kiss a chance. And yeah, I actually do really like the first Kiss album, Dressed to Kill and Hotter Than Hell. Maybe a slight letdown. Destroyer is actually a good record. The live album, everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. But I think their two best albums were the next two albums, Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun. I actually like those albums quite a bit. And Jeff Shilka says that I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll every morning, Jeff. It's just if I decide to hit the record button or not. And I had a little bit of time. I got a real light day today at work. So I figured, why not have a little bit of fun and rank the most vile, the most despised, the most hated bands of all time. And I honestly don't think Kiss deserves to be on this list. And that's why I have them at number 23. At number 22, now we're starting to get into bands that I kind of agree with their inclusion in some of these lists. It's the great Australian hard rock band AC/DC, the band that's written one song in their entire career, and they just keep doing it over and over and over. But if it worked for the Ramones, yeah, why wouldn't it work for AC/DC? You don't need to write a bunch of good songs. Apparently, you just need to write one and do it over and over and over, and that's fine. I know a lot of people love AC/DC. I never did. I liked them. The Bon Scott years probably more so, than the stuff that came out later. But I do like Back in Black quite a bit. That's a good record. But after that, I'm pretty much checked out with those guys. The schoolboy outfit's just ridiculous. Come on, man. How old are you? You're going to be running around wearing that thing, when you're like 90 years old? It's ridiculous. Not a fan. Never have been. Never will be. At number 21. Of the most despised and hated rock bands of all time, it's Korn, the band that doesn't know how to write the letter R. Yeah, this is a band that actually, I understand why they're here. I really do. But there are some things about this band that I actually do not hate. First and foremost is the fact that these guys actually created a sound completely their own, completely unique. You would know within 2 or 3 seconds if it was a Korn song or not. How many bands can say that they have created their own unique, perfect sound? Not many. Honestly, not many. Korn did it. But after their first 2 or 3 albums, it did fall apart a little bit, and it did kind of sound all the same after a little while. Runai's going with Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith. I'm going to tell you right now that one of those 2 bands is on this list. The other one is not, because I will fight for the other band a little bit, particularly their early stuff. But we're on number 20 now. the most hated, vile, and disrespected bands of all time. It's Oasis. And you can certainly understand why Oasis might make this list. Yeah, they're not a band for everybody, that's for sure. But I like some of the songs, but man, I hate everything that comes out of those two brothers' mouths. I mean, they just need to shut up. They really do. Just play your music, do your thing. They were helped along in their early years by another band from that area called The Real People. Check those guys out. If you like Britpop, maybe stay away from Oasis. Maybe you go with Blur or one of those other bands. But I'm telling you, The Real People is the real deal. If you like that kind of stuff, check that band out. Sidecar Dog is here, and he's thinking Coldplay might have to factor into this list, and I bet they do, sir. I bet they do. Stone Roses. Terry Keenan said Stone Roses should be on here. I'm going to tell you right now that they are not, solely because I do kind of like that first album. I do. I don't love it like a lot of people went completely insane. Yeah, Harry, you just missed Creed. I just talked about Creed, but yeah, Oasis is a band that should have been great, but they had delusions of grandeur that kept them mired in mediocrity for way too long. But they did do a cover of "Come On, Feel the Noise" on one of their B-sides. It might have been the Wonderwall B-side or Champagne Supernova B-side, rather. That's really cool, but yeah, that not right. At number 19, yeah, this band was mentioned by one of you guys earlier, and rightfully so. It's the putrid, the hideous, the unlistenable Guns N' Roses. If I ever do a top 25 overrated bands of all time, which is a different thing, right? We're not talking about overrated bands. We're talking about bands that people just hate. Yeah, maybe we could be talking about Guns N' Roses ranking a little bit higher here, but I have never liked them. I know Slash is considered by many to be a guitar god. I just think his style has just been done before by so many other players. I never heard anything new or different out of Slash. Yeah, he's good at what he does, man. He makes that stuff look really super easy. So Slash is a good player, but Axl is just a joke, man. I'm not a fan, never have been. You can have your November rain, buddy. It's October, and I'm still not listening to Guns N' Roses. PU at number 18 of the most putrid, reviled, and hated bands of all time. It's Smash Mouth, boys and girls. And if ever there was a band that deserves to be on this list, it's absolutely Smash Mouth. That guy's a joke. Have you been seeing any videos of what this guy does on stage lately? I guess he's just been so terrible that I think they just called it quits. Getting in fights with audience members and stuff like that. Their hits, they're terrible. It's just awful. But I will say, in defense of Smash Mouth, on their first album, there is a song called Let's Rock. Maybe at some point I'll put a link to that song in the description of the video, although I probably won't. But that song's actually really good. I like that song. I wish they would do more like that. That was kind of like a punk rock rave up song. The rest of their discography is just vile and putrid and unlistenable. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. At number 17, it's the Blues Travelers. Woo-hoo, yeah, I'll go play my little harmonica for you guys. I seen this guy with the Spin Doctors back in like 90, 94, 95. I don't even remember. And he was still big. I guess he's lost a lot of weight. He's only like a third the size that he used to be. But he was this big old guy with his harmonicas. And he had like one in each pocket. And he had like 20 different pockets, all the different keyed harmonicas. And the whole concert was basically just watching this guy play his harp. It was just awful. It was terrible. That said, the hook is a good song. I do like that song quite a bit. So at number 17, yeah, Blues Traveler. I have no problem with that. that. And Terry Keenan says that Nickelback and Bon Jovi suck. They absolutely do. And again, only one of those two makes the list. I think you know which one it is. I actually did not put Bon Jovi on the list because I think Living on a Prayer is a good song. And if you've got one good song, maybe you shouldn't be on this list, but whatever. At number 16, a band with absolutely zero good songs, it's Matchbox 20. You know, you take Santana out of the equation, these guys are probably nobodies. I don't like them. I actually met their guitar player back in Miami. He was a replacement. They had another guitar player, and I guess the label said, if you guys want to get signed, get rid of the dummy playing the sixth string and get a new guy. So they were working on some recording at Criteria Studios, and a friend of mine was working there, and he was a really, really dynamite guitar player. So they hired him. So, you know, I actually know a member of this band, and they still make my list. Just terrible. Matchbox 20, just awful. Peter Bickley says that Motley Crue, yeah, Motley sucks now. Yeah, Motley Crue used to be great. Their first two albums, man, were dynamite. I just love them. Clown rock. Well, we're going to be talking about some clowns later, I think. At number 15, let me hit my mute button so I can cough. How was that? Hey, that's pretty cool. Trying all the new technology out here. At number 15, it's the aforementioned hideousness that was the Spin Doctors. Yeah, I seen them open for Blues Travelers. It was very possibly the worst show I've ever been to in my life. Two hideous bands playing their hideous songs, and Spin Doctors was just terrible. The dude with the red hair running all over the stage, just not good at all. Rubino is saying Limp Bizkit should make this list, and Peter's back with an REM. I actually considered REM for the list, but I'm a fan. So I, much like I had to eliminate Rush from consideration here for personal reasons, I did the same thing with them. So yeah, I actually like REM. Especially the early stuff, their first EP, so good, Chronic Town. Their first album was fantastic. Their second album was really, really great. After that, I kind of lost interest, but I like REM. They're decent. Who's at number 14 for the most vile, decrepit, despicable bands of all time? Nobody's mentioned them yet, but I bet y'all were thinking about them. It's Linkin Park. Ugh. God, oh man. I don't know what anybody sees in this band. My wife keeps telling me that their first album's really pretty good. You should check it out. I've listened to enough Linkin Park to know that this isn't my kind of music. I don't like it. It's sterile. It's emotionless. It has no feeling. It has nothing for me. Obviously, you know, this was not written with boomers in mind, but I don't like Linkin Park. I never did. I know a lot of people love them, but it's just not my gig at all. Yeah, you can have them, actually. Big stinkeroo for me. At number 13 is a band that makes a lot of people's lists, but I'm kind of giving them a little bit of a pass here. And we're talking about Fish with a PH. We're not talking about the ex-Marillion singer. We're talking about that god-awful, whatever you call it, you know, Tedeschi Trucks band. Yeah, I don't like that jam band stuff. I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan to start with. So why would I like Fish? Fish is not higher up on this list for one reason and one reason only, and that is because they are Genesis fans. And when Genesis got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Fish did Watcher of the Skies, and it was actually really great. So, yeah, I haven't listened to a whole lot of their studio discography, but I've heard enough to know that they're not my band at all. But like I said, they get a little bit of a pass because of the Genesis connection. So good on them. Jim Newsted, Oasis. Yep, check. Coldplay. Yep, check. Sum 41 and Poison. You're going to have to wait and see if they make the list. But you know Maroon 5 is going to be up on here. You just know it. At number 12, the most hideous, vile, despicable things you'll ever want to hear in your life. And I can't argue with this one at all. It's Coldplay, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Martin's abortion of a band. They call this stuff rock music. Are you kidding me? Country Western sounds more like rock music than this. I don't hear any rock and roll at all. I don't know what in the world, maybe Chris Martin should just worry about dating starlets and stuff like that. Leave the music to the people that know a little bit something about music. Nick says, I can't believe I missed some. Yeah, you missed the filth. You're going to have to go back to the very beginning and watch the terribleness. Wow. I just thought of one right now, man. Talking about Coldplay, and I just thought of Papa Roach. Yeah, they could definitely, they could be on this list, that's for sure. But we're talking about Coldplay and just how hideous they are. Some people tell me about how good their first couple records are, Parachutes and, that kind of stuff. It's not for me, man. I tried when they first broke. I bought their first couple records like everybody else, and I don't like them. The Brian Eno produced album, even Eno couldn't help them. Their latest album is supposedly like a prog album with longer songs. Yeah, get the Raid. They're terrible. It's Coldplay. I don't have any use for them at all. I don't have any use for Chris Martin. Nor do I have any use for my number 11 band on this absolute hideous list of grotesqueness. Oh, God, these people. Oh, man, I do not like this band at all. It's Mumford and Sons. You can lump them in there with the Lumineers and all that other garbage Americana, fake Americana bull crap that's out there. Get your banjos out. It's just awful. It's terrible music. I can't stand them. Yeah. I seen a video of Marky Smith, singer from The Fall, R.I.P. He was at a festival, and I guess The Fall was on one stage, Mumford and Sons was on a joining stage, and I guess they could hear them in between songs, and there's like all this inter-song chatter that Marky Smith is talking about how much he hates Mumford and Sons and that awful kind of fake banjo music. I couldn't agree more. It's so contrived. It's so trite. These guys are awful. At number 10, the parade of awfulness continues with Limp Bizkit. Oh, man. Oh, Fred. I knew a guy down in Florida that claimed that Fred's whole thing was ripped off from him. He was the lead singer of a band called the Mary Tyler Whores, and he is absolutely convinced that Fred Durst's whole shtick was just an absolute ripoff. But I'm not here to talk about the persona. I'm here to talk about the music. And Limp Bizkit's music is just the most vile and disgusting thing you'd ever want to hear. Lyrically, it's about as sophomoric as they come. Musically, it's uninteresting, just terrible. And Sarah Hutchinson likes Coldplay, so I'm sorry, Sarah. I hang my head in shame. I'm sorry. Yeah, PBS has done a show about Mumford and Sons. Yeah, there's a reason I don't watch PBS a whole lot. I don't care. I don't like them. I know some people might. But anyway, Limp Bizkit, number 10, feels right. It is right. At number 9, it's another clown show, man. It's the Insane Clown Posse. Man, I knew a cat that was all into these guys. Every Halloween, he'd put the makeup on. He wanted to be just like Violent Jake. He was living in Bermuda, so I went and visited him out there, and it was around Halloween, and this cat's walking around the beach dressed like the Insane Clown Posse, dressed like Violent Jake. It's ridiculous. If you don't know these guys, please do yourself a favor and avoid them at all costs. Not only is their music terrible, but their politics is absolutely despicable. These people are hardcore right-wingers that just hate everything about America and hate everything about liberalism. And I got no time for any band that's going to be putting politics that front and center. And I don't care if you're left-leaning or right-leaning. It's just a real turnoff to me. Don't like it at all. Yeah, it is a ridiculous fan base. There was a radio station in Michigan that was taken over by insane clown Posse fans demanding that the DJ play some ICP on the radio because they never. Yeah, come on, people. Maybe if your beloved band wrote some songs that didn't suck, maybe they would actually get some airplay. I don't know. Just a thought there. At number 8, the most despicable rock bands to ever disgrace the face of the planet. It's 4 non-blondes, and I hate to do it to you ladies. I'm a feminist. I love women, and I think that we should support women in music however and whenever we can, wherever we find it. I just can't cotton to this. No sirree, Bob. I don't like this stuff. It's absolutely terrible. I know the chick is like this awesome songwriter and writes all these really, really great songs for all these other artists. But if you're telling me that your one big hit is that song, you know what song I'm talking about. I said, hey, what's going on? No, thank you. I'm saying no to the 4 non-blondes. Absolutely. Apparently, I'm not alone because this band made a lot of lists, and I could not agree more. At number 7 of the most vile, despicable bands in the history of mankind. I'm sorry, Sarah. It's Maroon 5. Yes, it is. Adam Levine and his boys. Oh, no. My sister had their first album, and she told me how great they were. I actually listened to that first CD a bunch. I don't like it. And then over the years, Adam's voice just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. Is he a chick now, or is he Geddy Lee? I don't understand. I know, Sarah, you love Maroon 5. I know you do, but it's just absurd how much I can't stand Adam Levine. I don't like him. I just terrible. It's not my kind of thing, but I'm not here to crush anybody's hopes and dreams. I'm just talking about what's, yeah, it is the same chord progression in that song as a million other songs, but Maroon 5's got a million hits. They've got millions of fans around the world. I don't think they're going to mind too much if a little YouTuber like me disses them a little bit on a live stream. I think he can take it. He's a big boy now. At number 6. Oh, they just keep getting worse and worse, don't they? Oh, man, I am unfair. Sarah, I'm sorry. I respect you, and I respect the musicians in Maroon 5. I really do. It's Adam Levine that I have a real problem with. That guitar player for Maroon 5 is actually really, really good. I know his sister was on Project Runway. She was cool. I don't have a problem. Oh, add Ghost. I'm not adding Rammstein maybe, but Ghost. Zeb, I don't know, man. I kind of like Ghost. They write some catchy hard rock songs. So I'm kind of in the camp that likes them. So yeah, and I did not see them on any of these lists that I was going through all morning. This guy was on every list I went through this morning. At number 6 is the Despicable Kid Rock. Oh man, this guy, no way, Jose. I would have put Ted Nugent on this list for similar reasons, except Ted Nugent actually had some good music back in the 70s. Free for All was an amazing album. Cat Scratch Fever was cool. I kind of like early Ted Nugent. I hate to admit it. I saw him back in the 70s, and he actually put on a really good show. My ears are still ringing from it, actually. But Kid Rock is a whole nother story, man. I cannot abide. It ain't going to happen. Don't like his music. Don't like his attitude. Don't like his politics. I don't like anything about him. I do like one thing about Kid Rock. You ever see that movie, Joe Dirt, with David Spade? He was actually really good in Joe Dirt because he was playing a jerk, right? So he played that really well. It wasn't a stretch. He's a character actor now. But Kid Rock's just awful. And that song he did with Sheryl Crow is even worse. Maybe Sheryl Crow should be on this list, but I guess we're talking about rock artists, and I don't really think about Sheryl Crow when I think about the rock and roll. I don't know about you. Mark does not like the Smashing Pumpkins. Dude, what? Oh man, Gish, Siamese Dreams, Melancholy, Adore. Those were some good records, man. Early Smashing Pumpkins, I actually dig quite a bit. Especially those first two albums, Gish and Siamese Dreams, I thought are great. Billy Corgan, though, yeah, he is a jerk. He is not a guy that I want to sit down and have a beer with. That's for sure. Uh, you know, he's that guy. Don't like him. Yeah, number 6 was Kid Rock. Just awful. Just awful. But boys and girls, it only gets worse from here, if that's even possible. And it's number 5. Oh, the hideousness is just almost more than I can take. Let me put the hood on to deal with Hootie and the Blowfish. It's Hootie. It's South Carolina's favorite band. Oh, yeah. Darius Rucker and the Dolphins make me cry. Oh, no. I, like everybody else in the world, bought Cracked Rearview Mirror in 1994. I don't know why. I didn't like the singles, but, it was just something to buy at the CD store, and everybody seemed to like it. So, I mean, no. The only good thing I can say about Darius Rucker, he has moved his sorry butt away from rock and roll and put it in the country sphere, where all those idiots may not even notice that you're listening to a black guy, because how most of those conservatives feel about that kind of stuff. But, they always have one token. Oh, yeah, Johnny Pride, we love him. Get out of here. I ain't buying your act. You guys are all a bunch of racists anyway. At number 4, I didn't mean that. Yes, I did. I don't know what I'm saying here. Yeah, just say no to Hootie. They're terrible. They're just awful. At number 4, this is a band that a lot of people who should know better actually like. I mean, it is just amazing how many people I follow, how many people I respect, how many people that like really, really good music actually like this putrid band. We are talking about the Dave Matthews Band. Yuck. That's just a giant no for me. Yeah, there's no doubt the musicianship is great, but those songs are just terrible. And the whole shtick is just it's stomach churning. The whole, let's go to the festival, man, and listen to some Dave Matthews, man. And no. I don't understand it. But apparently this guy still is a major draw. He does concerts around the world, and he still packs them in. I don't understand it. I never will. I don't like him. I never have. He's got some good musicians in his band, but I remember when Dave Matthews was on that TV show House. Remember that show? The Vicodin addicted doctor. Yeah, he did a guest star appearance on one episode, and it was just as bad as you could imagine it would be. I don't even have anything to say about number 3. They're just bad. Puddle of Mud. They're just awful. There's no reason to listen to this band. I've tried a couple times. I can't find anything redeeming in their music. I have nothing to say except P.U. At number 2. Oh, man. You just talk about one of the worst bands in the history of mankind. I saw an interview with Avril Lavigne back like 10 or 15 years ago, and this poser chick was asked, "What's your favorite punk band of all time, Avril?" She answered, "The Goo Goo Dolls." Yeah, nothing says punk rock like the Goo Goo Dolls, right? Oh, what a bunch of crap. What a horrible band. And they should be doubly sanctioned for absolutely destroying a Supertramp song that I love. That's a cardinal sin you just can never fall back from. I hate it. Can't stand it. It's awful. Yeah, Goo Goo Dolls, just terrible. One of the worst bands in the history of mankind. I said it. But yeah, there's even one band worse. And if you've been keeping score, you know exactly who's going to be at number 1. It's not going to be a surprise. They deserve it. They absolutely do. It's Nickelback. Yeah, they're terrible. They're just absolutely awful. Hey, the dude married Avril Lavigne without having a gun to his head, so that should tell you a little bit something about the smarts that guy's got going. Oh, wait a second. He's a multimillionaire, and I'm a poor guy. Yeah, he's a lot smarter than I am. Because I seen the size of the ring he gave Avril. It was like a $50 million ring. And I'm thinking, how many records did Nickelback sell, man? To be able to afford that kind of a ring, forget about it. Yeah, we're number one. It's the dubious honor, the great distinction to be number one. And they certainly earned it with all the terrible music that they've been producing over the years. And Jeff Shilka called it. It really wasn't that big a stretch to imagine that I'd have them as the worst, most putrid, vile, and hated band of all time. Yeah, U2 was on the list, although I strongly disagree with it. I had him at number 25 because I actually do like some early U2, probably up to like Zooropa, like Jim Newsted said. I think a lot of their stuff is great. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick little live stream today and go over the most putrid and horrible bands in the history of rock music. Sarah, I'm sorry I included Maroon 5. I hope nobody's offended because, we're just having fun here. I mean, I like some bands that I know a lot of you people probably hate, so it's all good. We all hear music differently. There's no hard feelings. I got no hate in my heart. I really don't. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm excited because Sunday, I am interviewing the great Nashville prog band Evership. So hopefully I'll have that up on the channel on Monday. They've got a brand new album coming out October 10th called The Uncrowned King Part 2. And it is really, really good. Is it as good as Part 1? I don't know. I had Part 1 as my number 2 prog album of 2021. So we'll see how they fare for Part 2. It's a good record. I really like Evership, and I'm really excited to have those guys here in the Prog Corner next week. They're at Prog Stock in New Jersey right now, so I guess I'll get a chance to talk to them after they are done with their set, so it should be a lot of fun. Besides the great Scott Medina from Sonic Perspectives, I do believe that would probably constitute my very first guest on the Prog Corner. It's been a one-man operation here since day one, and I appreciate it. Yeah, give thumbs up, everybody. Hit that like button. Hit the notifications bell. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. The whole goal of this channel is to keep prog rock strong, to keep our beloved genre going any way that we can, create a community of like-minded freaks and prog heads that love this kind of crazy music and refuse to let it die. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That's why I started the channel in the first place. So it's not about me and how many subscribers I get or any of that stuff. I mean, I got this channel monetized in April, and I've made $400. Okay. So it's not like, being part of the YouTube Partners program is going to make me rich here. I do appreciate the little extra money in my bank account. I'm not lying. I really do. It makes a difference. But Kid Rock is just awful. I'm reading some of these comments now. This is much fun. It could spark a plethora of similar videos. Yeah, why not? Just keep it lighthearted, especially until I get my phone back. I got 12 more days until my phone is out of Apple jail, so I'll be able to do my regular content with editing and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see what happens. But anyway, I think we're going about on 40 minutes. I think that's good enough to talk about the 25 worst bands in the history of mankind. I think we did a good job with it. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining my quick little live stream. Maybe we'll do something tomorrow. Maybe we won't. You know how it is. It all depends how I feel and how much work I got backed up. And I do actually have a job, and yeah, I'm actually on the clock right now. Don't tell the boss. Oh, wait a second. My boss is my mother-in-law, and she has subscribed to this channel. So unfortunately, she probably knows what I'm doing right now instead of working. So maybe I should call it a day and see you freaks tomorrow. Anyway, peace. Love you. God save the king and his lovely bride.